Welcome to our weekly Crypto Digest, where we cut through the noise and focus on what actually matters. Because if you're serious about making money in crypto, you don't just follow hype, you follow signals. And this week, there were a lot of signals. Let's start with the biggest story. On April 1st, Drift Protocol, one of the biggest DeFi platforms on Solana, got hit with a massive exploit. We're talking about $280+ million drained in minutes. But here's the crazy part. This wasn't a smart contract bug. This wasn't some code vulnerability. It was social engineering. Attackers basically manipulated approvals and took over governance controls, meaning the system worked exactly as designed. Just against itself. The entire exploit took about 12 minutes. That's faster than most people check their portfolio. What the hackers actually did? Step 1. Multi-sig compromised attackers gained access to the Security Council permissions, not by hacking code, but through social engineering, fake transactions, or manipulation of signers. The multi-sig wallet had no execution delay, so once access was gained, there was no time to react. Step 2. Fake token manipulation. Then things got creative. Attackers created a useless token called Carbon Vote, CVT. They artificially pumped its price using wash trading oracle manipulation, Switchboard. So now a worthless token looked valuable on paper. Step 3. Draining liquidity using CVT as collateral. They increased withdrawal limits on real assets like USDC, SOL, ecosystem tokens, and then drained everything. Let's talk numbers. Approximately $66 million in USDC, $42 million in JLP, 1 million SOL, plus other tokens. Total, up to $285 million total stolen. The impact? Protocol fully paused. Deposits, withdrawals stopped. TVL dropped over 50%. Token price crashed 20 to 40% instantly. And right now, users' funds are still locked. No clear compensation plan yet. However, it's been a week already. So what is the team actually doing? Now here's where it gets serious. Analysts from TRM Labs believe this attack has the signature of Lazarus Group. And if you've been in crypto for a while, you know this name. Who are they? Lazarus is a state-linked hacking group connected to North Korea. Since 2017, they've stolen around $7 billion in crypto. Let that sink in. Some of their biggest hits: Ronin Bridge, $625 million. Wazir X, $235 million. Bybit, $1.4 billion. This isn't just hacking, this is systematic, long-term infiltration. The real threat, it's inside the industry. And here's the part most people ignore. For the past 7 years, North Korean IT specialists have been quietly entering crypto companies, not as hackers, as developers. They get hired like normal employees, strong resumes, real skills, solid experience. But behind the scenes, they work for groups like Lazarus. They gain access to infrastructure, learn how systems work, and then attack from the inside. And here's the scariest part. Blockchain investigator ZachXBT said it best. These attacks are not even sophisticated. They come through job offers, LinkedIn, emails, Zoom interviews. Simple stuff, but they work because they are persistent. And his warning was clear. If you fall for this in 2026, it's not bad luck, it's negligence. What this means for crypto. Let's zoom out. This is bigger than Drift because it changes how we think about security. Old mindset: if the code is safe, funds are safe. New reality: the weakest point is people, not smart contracts, not blockchain, humans. Now here's what smart users understand. Every major exploit shows you where the system is weak, where capital flows next, where opportunities appear. After events like this, liquidity shifts, narratives change. New platforms emerge, and early users always benefit the most. But the Drift hack wasn't the only signal this week, because while one protocol lost hundreds of millions, another one is quietly leaking money every single day. We're talking about Polymarket. And here's the crazy part. This isn't a new exploit. It's been known for months, and it's still not fixed. What's happening? There's a vulnerability in short-term BTC prediction markets, like 5 to 15-minute bets. And according to reports, someone is making up to $50,000 per day just by abusing it. How the exploit works. Let's break it down step by step. 1. The user opens 2 positions at the same time, one betting up, one betting down. 2. Right before the market closes, the real price is already visible via Chainlink, so now they know which position wins. 3. Then they call a function, increment, nonce with a high gas fee. 4. This cancels all pending transactions, including the losing bet. 5. Result: they only pay for the winning position. The losing one never settles. And just like that, risk equals 0, profit equals consistent. But don't they get banned? They do. Wallet gets banned. Funds move to a new wallet and repeat over and over again. And here's the real problem. This exploit has been known since February 2026, and instead of fixing it, Polymarket just bans wallets, which tells you something important. For a platform this big, it's sometimes easier to ignore small leaks than to fix the system. What this means. Now connect this with Drift, two completely different cases, but same core idea. The market is full of inefficiencies, and right now, one of the most profitable strategies in crypto is not trading, holding, or even farming. It's finding broken mechanics, because these inefficiencies repeat, scale, and often stay unnoticed. And for some users, this is no longer a side strategy. It's their main source of income. So now think about this. If one user can extract $50,000 a day from a top platform and another group can drain $285 million, what does that tell you about the market? Because crypto isn't just about tokens anymore. It's about systems, and the people who understand them first always win. And just when you think, okay, maybe the problem is hackers, let's talk about something even more uncomfortable. What happens when the problem is the project itself? This week, one of the most well-known wallets in crypto, Trust Wallet, found itself in the middle of a full-blown controversy. It started with something simple. The official Discord link got hacked. Users clicking it were redirected to phishing servers, which means potential wallet drains, stolen funds, and compromised users. But that was just the trigger, because underneath there's a much bigger story. Let's rewind. Back in September 2025, Trust Wallet was heavily promoting the TWT token, a new roadmap, real utility, premium tiers, and ecosystem integration. Everything looked bullish. Then, a new CEO comes in, Felix Fan, and suddenly silence. No updates, no roadmap progress, no communication. Even worse, TWT was removed from bios, branding was quietly changed, community questions were ignored, and users were getting blocked. And the market noticed. TWT dropped approximately 80% from highs. Even recently, it's down another 17 to 30% in a sideways market. At the same time, another issue hit a wallet extension exploit with over $8 million lost. And now, the community is starting to push back. Longtime supporters, KOLs, and early users wrote an open letter to Changpeng Zhao. They are demanding answers, transparency, and a live AMA within 7 days. Because from the outside, this looks like a project that promoted a token at the top and then walked away from it. There are even rumors. A whale dumped approximately $1.7 million in TWT, triggering a further price collapse. It's not confirmed, but in low liquidity, it doesn't take much. And here's the real issue. This isn't just about price. This is about trust. Because in crypto, reputation is everything. And when a project with millions of users, backing from Binance, and association with CZ suddenly goes silent, it creates uncertainty across the entire market. What this means. Now connect all three stories, Drift and its broken security, Polymarket with its broken mechanics, and Trust Wallet with its broken communication. Different problems, but the same conclusion. Crypto is not just about technology, it's about people, incentives, and accountability. And right now, the biggest risk is not volatility, it's information asymmetry. So here's the question. If even top-tier projects can fail like this, who can you actually trust? Because in this market, you don't just need to find opportunities. You need to understand systems. And more importantly now, when something is breaking. And after everything we just talked about, hacks, exploits, and broken trust, let's zoom out for a second. Because this week, Changpeng Zhao released a book called Freedom of Money. And inside it, you will find some of the most important lessons in crypto. Lesson 1. FTX collapse was inevitable. One of the most surprising stories? The relationship between CZ and Sam Bankman-Fried. At one point, SBF casually asked CZ for billions of dollars, like it was nothing. And when Binance signed the famous LOI to potentially acquire FTX, it wasn't a real commitment. It was just a formality, which tells you something important. Even at the highest level, things were already falling apart. Lesson 2. One statement can kill a project. Then there's Caroline Ellison. She publicly said, "We'll buy FTT at $22. Sounds bullish, right? But the market saw it differently as a ceiling. And what happened next? Massive shorting, panic, approximately $6 billion in withdrawals, and total collapse. One sentence triggered the downfall of a multi-billion-dollar empire. Lesson 3. Even the best miss opportunities. Here's something most people don't know. CZ met Vitalik Buterin back in 2013. He had a chance to invest in Ethereum early, but he didn't. Why? He didn't believe it would work technically. Today, that's considered one of the biggest missed opportunities in crypto history. Lesson 4. The system always evolves. Another twist, in 2019, CZ offered a role to Gary Gensler. He declined. Years later, he became head of the SEC and launched lawsuits against Binance. Same people, different roles. Crypto changes fast, and alliances change even faster. Lesson 5. Principles versus profit. Binance once invested $3 million into Luna. At its peak, that position turned into $1.6 billion. But when the collapse started, CZ didn't sell. Why? To avoid causing panic and to avoid dumping on retail users. The result? The position went to near zero. That is a $1.6 billion decision based on reputation over profit. Lesson 6. Even mistakes can be recovered. And one of the most human moments, CZ once accidentally sent 46 Bitcoin to the wrong network. Funds are gone, right? Somehow they were returned, which just shows, even in crypto, not everything is as final as it seems. Now think about everything we covered today. Drift, with $285 million lost from human error. Polymarket, with $50,000 a day from inefficiency. Trust Wallet, and a community losing trust. And CZ's book, a story of mistakes, power, and decisions. Different stories, but the same truth. Crypto is not just about technology. It's about behavior, timing, decisions, and understanding systems. So here's the real question. Are you just reacting to crypto, or are you actually learning how it works? Let me know in the comments. What shocked you the most this week? The hack, the exploit, or the Trust Wallet situation? And if you want to stay ahead of the market, not after it moves, but before, subscribe to the Crypto Smart Hub channel. Because in crypto, the people who understand the system first always win.